Yeah. Well, it should be to start out, just to get used to it and get good at it. Yeah. Well, I really have to limit you to that thought. I just no the no I think there is a balance there that you have to strike. You I would not have it at a taqueria. I wouldn't do it. It's just not where I'm gonna have my conversation. Well, I'm just saying that's I am not gonna do that with it. It's not. It doesn't encourage the uh, the leveling up experience that I'm telling people to go for. It a an eating place, and it has to be a closed room. Period. No open format to where you're talking over any crowd. You can't have a speaker, and you can't have open discussion in a crowd. It's just not going to happen. Um,
It's worth
the and you're not going to find that in a taqueria, right?
no. I agree.
And so does it have to be $100 plus? No, it doesn't need to be $100 plus, but it should be, 30 to $50 easy per person, and then plus drinks, because we're not talking about a hamburger joint to have a conversation in our shorts and flip flops. We're talking about a a jacket, coat and tie event, and you're just not going to do that in a place like that. It's just not appropriate. So you need to be appropriate with what you're trying to accomplish. You set the venue based off of what you're trying to accomplish. If you're going to have a Hawaiian shirt night, go to the taqueria. If you're gonna have it's probably not even there. You go to a burger joint. If you're gonna have a coat and tie event, you're gonna go to, some kind of a steakhouse, or some kind of it doesn't have to be the, most expensive one in town, but somewhere that is conducive to that type of experience, because that's what we're saying to take back. Because right now they're already getting the Hawaiian shirt BS that, everybody else is offering. That's what people are not wanting. That's why they like things like this. That's why they keep coming back. And that's why they asked us before we even finished if we were doing it again next year, because that's what they're looking for, and that's what we're trying to provide. It is your fault. No, I'm just messing with you. But right, right. You should dress coat and tie. And that is everywhere in Goliad except for where the Lutherans are. Then, so it's even worse at that point. Well, right. Well, yeah, and I'm gonna reinforce that with an email as well, and I'm gonna tell in that email I'm going to express that we have speakers that are willing to come to these areas and speak to help out with the first dinner or first couple of dinners. There's brothers that we know that will specifically come to a region to help uh, cultivate this type of thing. What you got, Josh? Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Just give me
So,
1 second. Oh, okay.
yeah, no, I just had a quick question. I understand the importance of getting guys together and having those deep conversations. Unfortunately, I didn't make the dinner, but I have a full, pretty good understanding of what happens. So, but what would be the difference of having a dinner like that versus doing some type of education outside a stated meeting at the lodge?
I don't. That's not the experience. And it's. I think if you had been to the dinner, then you would have understood this experience. And I'll help with this first one here in our area, and we'll put something together so that you can see what I'm talking about. And we also had shoot, man, we had like 6 brothers from Lavaca come up, and
Right. Yeah. I just
and
know I have a feeling. I mean, I know, and Dennis, you know this as well as I do. Down here, we have hard enough time getting brothers to enjoy the education we're trying to bring, let alone something outside of a stated meeting. I just
well, and
see
that's
being a hard time to get them to come to something like that. You know what I mean?
well, well, that's the thing is that this isn't for everybody. This is for the exclusive. This is for just certain people that are going to be open-minded to having good conversation and are willing to have their thoughts challenged and and be a contributor to that experience. The This isn't for your average Mason. This is for the people who are like us that are feel like we're on our own little island in this fraternity sometimes with nobody to talk to, and we are longing for something different. And that's what this is for. This isn't for the lodge. This is for specific brethren.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
to struggle with that a little bit myself when I started doing some of these things and realizing our numbers were not where I thought they were going to be. But at the same time, the brothers that showed up gained some knowledge and they took the time out to come and listen. So if I guess you could look at it as if one brother learned something, then it was an accomplishment.
Right. And maybe the brothers that show up consistently and like what you're doing, maybe that's the short list that you start from. And like I said, we have the six brothers down in Lavaca that really enjoyed it, and I can help facilitate it to make sure that it's the same kind of an event, so that it it doesn't diminish in value. Because the last thing you want to do is compromise on the value that brings, because then you are just doing the same thing at just a different time, and then you're just competing with lodge. With this, you're not competing with lodge. You're creating a new experience, and a specific experience for a specific number of brethren who care about um, the gentlemanly aspect of our fraternity. Uh, yeah, we could see if the people that I'm thinking about are very specific, and we could see if they would want to have their names published, or if maybe we just say, hey, we've got an event that's going to happen uh, in this month. Would any of you be able to come and speak on something? I'm not looking at a mailing list. I don't. Yeah, I'm just looking at.
Yeah, you need to list the brothers that are willing to come down and do presentations from different
I already
aspects.
have a list. That's what I'm saying, and Justin's just not catching on.
Well, you've never shared that with me, so I don't know.
I'll text you. I'll text you. I'll text you. I'm gonna delete your number.
Well, I'll tell you what I did when I started my year, and even before I started my year in the East, actually, probably about this time last year, is I reached out to a lot of the brothers that helped do the OLT stuff. And because I had their numbers and everything, and I've heard them speak before, so I had a lot of them contacted a lot of them to help me come do stuff. So we've had quite a few of those guys come down, and I still got a few more lined up for the rest of the year. So, but yeah, I mean, they were all willing to go. Yeah, just give me a date, we'll roll with it. So that's always a good asset. If you've been to OLT, those brothers are usually pretty reasonable about doing a presentation for you.
But that's the thing, is that these guys are not the guys we want to give for presentations. Those guys are not those guys are administrative presenters. We're talking about people that are going to challenge your soul. That's your that's the goal, is to challenge your intellect in philosophy and the deeper meanings of Freemasonry, of the symbolism in Masonry, and not just talk about the surface value stuff. That's what events like this are supposed to be for. Now, in at Grand Lodge, we generally talk about things that have to do with Grand Lodge because it's Grand Lodge. So we cater to the event, right? Because it's all about Grand Lodge that week. So this week, this time was charity, um, and in more of the fashion of that, meaning brotherly love and affection, not monetary value. You know, being the brother that we're supposed to be to each other. The so it's stuff like that. It's not gonna be your OLT people that are gonna be giving your presentations.
Well, but at the same time, though, Dennis, if you really think about it in a building sense, starting off with those guys from OLT is a good place to start. It's kind of a, call it a soft intro, if you will, into the higher precepts that we want to get into later. You know,
I
I
don't
I,
I don't
I
think
fail to see
it's
how that's a bad thing.
I don't think that that's where that's already readily available. I don't think that that's I don't know. It's not very thought provoking. I mean, it's the idea is to provoke thought and discussion between the brothers and bounce things off of each other, not to just talk about how you're going to fix the problems of the lodge. I'm not interested in that myself. I not for this kind of environment. I'm interested in, you know, getting to the meaning of brotherhood and what our purpose is for each other, and not the 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 asset liability that we carry today with our overgrown infrastructure. Well,
Okay, and fair enough.
and
Sorry, go ahead, Dennis.
well, and I'd like to say it's not just, you know, about overlapping with OLT either. It's, you know, well, go ahead. Let me reformulate this because
So
I
what I
was
actually had in mind when I was thinking of like that soft introduction or that soft opening wasn't so much about lodge administration, but maybe take a deep dive into the just the monitorial aspects of pick a degree. if you look at the the one that sticks in my head all the time is the EA, because it's the first degree that people get, right? And if you look at the monitor and um, what is not generally given when the degree is conferred, but that those monitorial sections that remain unspoken, there's a ton of really good stuff there, a ton of really good esoteric stuff. Especially when you get into the perfect points of initiation and the way they cooperate with each other. Um, I could see dressing up and going to a dinner and having somebody give a presentation on just those particular topics, those particular attributes, and I can see where I could derive value from that.
Well, and to be fair, that is a much better idea than because here's the thing. Something anytime we're discussing um something esoteric, it can be as shallow or as deep as the person that's hearing it, right? So where one person may take it, only at the surface level that they read in the book, um, somebody else may take it completely down a rabbit hole that nobody else in the room would have ever thought about. But it creates that opportunity for them to get those nuggets from that person. But if we dumb it down to the point of something, let's say like, OLT or whatever, lodge maintenance or whatever the topic would be, if you dumb it down to that, to where you're trying to appease the lowest hanging fruit, then the people that have the higher expectations with their time and money are never going to come back, and then you're going to lose that higher uh um that more developed brother that you really need to evolve into a stronger thinking society. So, not that they're the one and done on everything, but they offer some good nuggets that some people would never think about, and then it causes a chain reaction of thought, and everybody grows together instead of, some people getting absolutely nothing from it and just walking away. You don't want to lose that person.
Yeah, and that's where I was going with this. You know, I, my choice of words, and using the OLT was
Right. And
probably
I was getting a little bit
suboptimal.
abrasive too, and I apologize. It's been a long
But
weekend.
oh yeah, because we're all working on next to no sleep. I don't know about you
Dude, I
guys, but I
I
got like
just
four
came.
hours of sleep each night.
Yes, I just came out of a coma. That's for sure. Correct.
Amen.
Yeah. And when you do the invitation to the dinner or whatever, you give everybody the topic ahead of time so that they can research it. The one thing for sure I can tell everybody, and I won't apologize for doing it either, is that if I'm not challenged, I'm not coming back. It's just not going to happen. I'm too damn old. My time is too valuable to me. If you cannot challenge me to level up every time I sit with you, those times we sit together are going to be fewer and fewer because I am on a path trying to make myself better. And granted, if we're talking about an apprentice mentorship situation to where um, it's someone who is learning from me or whatever, then that's great. But I want to be the apprentice to somebody as well. And I need those people in my life and I need those events in my life because that's not what I get at the Common Lodge meeting. So I need that elsewhere. And that's what these events are for. They're not to appeal to the masses. They're to appeal to the people like me who are striving to actually become better through this process called Freemason.
Thank you, babies.
Yeah, and just FYI, I like I said, I'm sorry for being, and I I'm just so passionate about this specific thing. I don't want anybody deterring from what the goal is because our whole purpose on this show was to be that leveling up experience for people that aren't getting that in their areas and stuff like that. There's no way I'm going to promote an event and promote people to do something that is not that. So I apologize. I got a little bit, I get that way sometimes. My passions aren't always in due bounds. Oh, dude, that's being generous. And two bottles of scotch. I still have one bottle. Yeah. By the way, I just want to say I'm glad somebody made it to the memorial room. I see that. I like it. I have that same picture. That's awesome. That was when Byron Bird was there. He came in to do these 2-minute videos on why people join Freemasonry. And once he packed up, though, it allowed for anybody to go in and oh well, at first it was. They had those, and then the next day it was Brother Bird. He was doing the 2-minute videos. He got some that were really good. He showed me some of them, and they were amazing. They were some of the brothers were spot on. Yes, yes. They came and got me, and yeah, I've got pictures, but I told them that I want to have them on the show, so we can talk about the differences of Australian masonry and Texas masonry and stuff like that. Because he was like, "Wow, this is so different." I said, "Yeah, I know it is. We're different from everybody. We're Texans." No, I just met the one. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. But yeah, that's always fun to run into brothers that you meet for the first time and we're actually making an impact. That's kind of cool. And that's well, and that's why I don't want to detract from the ideas that we have, because apparently we're doing something right that's successful, and I don't want to change that. I want to emulate and then multiply. Do more of it. Have brothers do more of it. That's that's why I get so passionate, I guess, because I'm a grumpy past master. Come on. I'm a grumpy past master. Congratulations, Brother Hoff. Vanguard recipient 2024.
Thank you. Roy City Lodge was the only in my district to get this award, and one of only 44 lodges out of the whole state of 400 and I don't know 27 lodges or however many there are now.
There's 740 lodges. You
Oh yeah,
you are you
740.
are you are a diamond,
The
buddy. That's
minority.
that's awesome. That is awesome. So proud for you.
Yeah. Well, I,
Because
I
if you're doing a Vanguard, you're doing Freemason.
yeah. You were one of the first ones I reached out to help me with figuring that out, and you really helped me nail it down. So I really appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. And see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm here for. If I was to be less of a value to the brothers who are part of our inner circle, then you may not have made it, right? I mean, you probably would because you're you, but it would have taken you a little bit longer to figure it out. That's awesome.
Yeah, the Grandview has a tracker now that makes it a lot easier. It's got like a tracking Excel spreadsheet you can download. It's on the Grandview under resources and can help you keep track of all that stuff. That's what you had. Well, there was another guy that helped me with that as well. So, But
Yeah, there are so many different things that are happening in Grandview. Did you get that message also, Justin? Sean's having a tough time streaming. He texted me, so will you text him and see what's up? Thanks. Sean's having a Yeah, that's something that our brothers need to know is that you need to stay active the uh in the Grandview system because things are happening, things are evolving all the time, and new things are coming available, new tools are coming available to make the job so much easier to get done. And I'm glad that you did it that way and actually went through that experience because now you can help other people do it in the future instead of having a big old notebook of all the pages, checking them off and deciding what you're going to do. That's awesome.
Yeah, Brad, welcome to the Vanguard Club. We didn't get it this year, but did it when I was master.
thanks, brother.
Well, then you can't really brag on it this year, can you? I guess you can't.
I can still welcome them in.
Also, congratulations, Brother White, on being DDGM this year.
I am not a district deputy grandmaster.
Oh, I thought I swear I saw you wearing a
No.
25 apron.
No,
Oh,
no, past master apron.
oh okay. My bad.
I was honored to be appointed as district education officer for District 48.
Very cool. That's also a great thing to be. I mean, I think that those positions are often overlooked and they're really the most important positions in the districts. That it helps lodges understand, what's going on for the communication officer. It helps all the lodges know what's going on at all times so that you're not double booking events on the same day and stuff like that. You're able to, plan and be successful. The education officer can assist with the Briscoes, with the life program, the all program. They can offer guidance on establishing presentations at your lodge and stuff like that. And then the instructor of course can assist with the ritual and whatnot. But I think that in all reality, if you have an effective team as a district service team that works together and does all the things that they're supposed to be doing, then there's not as much need as for an MWSA because those are all the things that you should be doing in the MWSA as well. You should be communicating with each other. You should be assisting with education to help all the lodges to overcome the challenges that they're dealing with in that day. And then, of course, ritual is always important. We need to have a steady flow of education in the ritual.
I've already got a open presentation I'm putting together on practicing good security on social media because of the amount of bogus pages there are out there that act like they're selling whiskey and all that stuff or regalia. And we're seeing a lot of guys get duped by it. Even guys who have been playing the game for a while and know what's up are still getting duped. So we got to make sure we are looking out for each other. That includes wives, kids, the whole smash.
Yeah, those regalia guys that you're seeing online out there all the time, they're not manufacturers. Those are people that are if you're lucky, you're getting one that will be the middleman in between.
Yeah.
But there is absolutely no recourse if they don't provide your product.
And you don't know what kind of labor practices they're using either.
Well, I've seen it time and time again on what happens over there.
Yeah, I manage our lodge, our chapter, our council, and our grotto's Facebook pages. So I see those come in on Messenger all the time, and it's immediate block and ban.
Yeah. And that's what, yeah. And then that's exactly what I do also on the pages that I do.
And
Um,
I'll delete their posts or comments or anything on our pages also.
right.
Yeah, but there's one out there pretending to be the Grand Lodge of Texas, and it's
Uh-huh.
out of Cameroon,
Yep.
and Meta won't take it down.
Wait, so it's out of Cameroon, like outside the jurisdiction of Texas?
Like, there's probably a group of guys sitting in an internet cafe, same group of guys running all these bogus pages, and they've got
They're
well-intentioned guys falling for it.
they're probably the same ones running the Illuminati.
Yeah, it's the same guys, but they're hurting us because they're making well-intentioned people fall for it.
And I've had several arguments on them about certain things, and it's insane
And there's
that people join that group thinking it's the Grand Lodge of Texas when
Yep.
they're using Brad Billings' logo back from 2022, and now we're at Rayburn Reader.
There, one of the spoof pages was pretending to be the Grand Lodge of Arizona, and it had Brad's picture up there acting like he just got installed Grand Master of Arizona. And I sent him a text. I was like, "When'd you move to Arizona, buddy?" Oh,
Oh yeah, the YouTube chat is interesting right now.
Well, that's because all the freaking trolls are not on TikTok anymore. So now they're gonna come
Oh,
bug us.
TikTok is back. It's
TikTok's
back.
back.
Oh, is
buddy.
it really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Then it should show off that one of those new coins he got this weekend.
I should, but I don't have them on me. I've
There,
got them
there's a
over on the desk.
there's a good story behind that coin too.
You're talking about James Teal. That's his coin.
It's over your head.
There you go. There you go.
There's a skull.
Back it up. Back it up. Now flip it.
Oh, that's
Flip
the
it so
Grand
people-
Lodge of Texas one, the museum, right?
No,
The seal. No,
that's the
that's
Clark
the
seal.
now that's the Grand Lodge of the Republic of Texas. It's
Yeah.
not the Grand Lodge seal. Yeah,
Jacob
that
had a
looks good.
question. Yeah, he posted it in the chat.
Yeah, how often do they update those Vanguard guidelines? I've been working with our senior warden. I'm the senior deacon, so we'll be rising together next year if tradition prevails in our lodge. And we do a lot of those programs already. It's just a matter of documenting them and then making up the last few.
Well,
So
if
I
you-
had seen a couple different years in the resources on Grandview. I was just wondering how often they updated or changed those.
Yeah, we did a well they that's kind of a recent thing. There for a long time. Well, they always change the year just so that you know that's the current one. But we didn't do an update to them until a couple of years ago. And when I was on the education committee, we did an update to them then, and then there was a slight update right after that. And so that's why they had the years on them. But otherwise, if you have one of the older ones and you're doing everything that's on there, you'll be just fine. You're going to hit all the different things. But yeah, you want to always use the most current year so that because it actually got a little bit easier and a little bit clearer, more clear to view.
Jacob, have you been a master before? Is this your first time going through the line?
No, this
He's
is
the
my
senior
first time
deacon.
going through. Yeah.
Okay. You're planning to move on up in a couple of years to be master if everything works okay?
Yep. Mhm. Yes.
use that as a foundation to start planning your year. You should be planning your year right now.
Junior
For sure.
wardens when I planned my year.
I had a shell of what I wanted to do when I was senior deacon, but that was also because I had already put in like a Grandmaster official visit and a couple other things. So I had a shell going when I was senior deacon.
Oh, when you finish in the West, you're behind. Yeah, you should be you should
should-
be go ahead.
You should be done by the time you start as senior warden, and just have the only thing you should be doing is contingency planning at that point in case something falls through.
I like this one that I received from Sean not too long ago.
Oh, that's
If
a
y'all
nice
can,
one.
well, look at inside the square and compass. I love that.
I saw somebody wearing a pin like that at session.
Yeah,
I have a
don't-
pin like that. Look at that behind him. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know who made those pins. That guy must be a jerk or a punk or someone.
I know, trying to make it different than the baby Jesus story. Who are you?
Austin,
Somebody's
Austin,
got to be that guy.
send me a Facebook message. I just added you, and I'll send you my pin and coin.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I took inspiration from the hat that Dennis and Justin are wearing. Simplistic.
Yep. I
I'm
remember
like,
you calling me about that back when, well, I think you were junior warden and you called me on it, talking about, what your ideas were and stuff.
because honestly, I like Rayburn Reader's coin. G Clay has an interesting logo. All these people are doing so much when they do their logo as Grandmaster. But what about the simplistic look, like Tommy Chapman, Brad Billings, Paul Underwood had a simplistic. Stogner was confusing as hell because I didn't know what I was looking at. But
I really love Ken Curry's, and it almost looks like a Ranger badge, which
Yeah.
With a trowel
but
on it.
but I really love the way that 5-pointed star with the trowel in it. That was awesome. I love it.
Wendell Miller, his was a Texas sheriff
His looked almost like, yes, his looked almost identical to
yeah.
But
a sheriff's badge.
that tied to him though, because he was law enforcement.
He
Yep.
is one of my favorite grandmasters of all time.
And he is immediately like, call me Ken.
Why okay, since it's already passed, correct me if I'm overstepping my boundaries here, but why did Chapman take over last year and not King Curry?
Just because Chapman was willing to do it.
Okay.
And
That's all. I mean, he was asked and he was willing to do what was necessary for the craft. I mean, that's what it boiled down to.
and he commands a lot of respect too.
Yeah. He definitely does. Oh yeah, he has it just choom choom choom. What one of the reasons why Tommy was the correct choice was because Tommy has always been the people's choice, right? So Tommy is the the best example of the working man's Mason, working man's grandmaster that there ever was, because he was in the sheriff's department he was in law enforcement forever, and and became a Grand Master, and didn't change him.
And he'd already been there, done that twice too.
No, I'm talking about the first time he became a Grand Master. It didn't change him when he went through that.
I know.
His philosophy on life is so well founded that he was the same man after that as the day that he started. And that's exactly why he was asked for last year to be that person again that was able to relate to the craft and who would be that foundation that we needed to build upon going forward.
Well, when I say been there, done that, I wasn't talking about the first time being Grand Master. I was referencing because he's a past Grand High Priest and past Grand Master of the Grand Council. So
there's a lot of people that have that kind of resume though.
Yeah.
And they're still not that humble.
No. No,
but he's humble. He has been humble to them because that's who he is. Yeah, you're right. He maintained that in those positions too. I think Aaron Tazinski is another one of those brothers. He's very just nose to the grindstone, let's work to him. Let's work to do well, and that's the way Tommy is. His yes is yes and his no is no. And it's I have a lot of respect. I love Aaron for who he is. I really do. And feel the same way. There's other people. Well, hell, look at Robert Park. I mean, he's the only guy that the only brother that can just straight up tell you you're wrong, tell you the 10 reasons you're wrong, and you be happy that he told you after he told you. Yeah. Who can do that? That's why I love him so much. That's the kind of people I want surrounding me in my life journey. Because that's what this is, right?
I barely got to finally talk to him at Grand Lodge because I'd never met the guy. Like, I just hadn't. And he's an interesting guy to talk to. Robert, when Aaron got elected Grand Master of the Grand Council, I was at session and went up to shake his hand to congratulate him. The first thing out of his mouth was, "When am I making my official visit?" I didn't even get a chance to say congratulations. Because I was thrice illustrious in Temple at the time.
Oh, that's funny.
He visited Temple Council like 4 times during his year as Grand Master. He's down in Houston. He will travel the state just cause. And there's another guy in the line for Grand Council like that right now too with Dean. Brian
Cook.
Brian Cook will travel too.
Brian Cook's part of my chapter council over in Richardson. He's how does that man sleep? I've always wondered.
Yeah, he's very busy. He was part of the York Wright body that brought me in McKinney.
In the McKinney.
The McKinney. The one and only. Often imitated, rarely duplicated. Yes, for sure.
They reschedule meetings those nights.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't walk away anymore. He used to walk. No, he's never walked away from me. We've always been very, very cordial. He's good friend and brother. And Dean
What's
as well. Dean as well. I like Dean as well. I mean, that I would never say anything bad about Dean. I love him. He's a good
Yeah.
man.
The Justin finally cornered me for our annual picture. No, you.
Man, I kind of I shook a lot of hands, but most of the time I was going 100 miles an hour to one place or another. And so a lot of mine was in passing. And there's a lot of hugs, of course, but I didn't get as many pictures as I used to, and I didn't, you know, I mean, I was so tired that before installation, I went to have lunch, and then after lunch, I went back to the hotel for a few minutes, fell asleep, man. I I missed installation because I fell asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. He caught me, Dennis, as I had my jacket off. Like the one time I had my jacket off the entire day on Saturdays when he caught me.
with the with the sweat stains.
No, no, I had a vest on to cover those up.
so I gotta say, thank God all of us who were at Grand Lodge survived the Grand Lodge fire.
I wasn't there. I was working.
Man,
I want the
that that
t-shirt.
that pissed me off so bad hearing about that. Somebody in their damn cigarette threw it down and it caught a couple leaves on fire. No big deal, but still, it happened and it shouldn't have. If you're gonna smoke, smoke like Sean there. Don't just sit in a room with a hookah and smoke that way. Don't smoke a cigarette and throw it down on the ground and
That auditorium used to be probably blue from
yeah,
all the cigarette
firing
smoke back in the day.
That's right. And I did
those
that
damn
on purpose.
cigarettes. I know.
I'm
Or you
surprised
can
the
just chew and
ashtrays
don't
still
worry
aren't
about
on
it.
the back of the seats ahead of you.
Who called for Zordon?
They-
Y'all got to come to backyard where the other front real fun happens.
I was there.
We were there.
I was there.
I was there for a minute.
I think I saw
I
you,
oh, excuse me. Yeah,
everybody.
everybody. Yeah.
Everybody. You big chicken. It wasn't even cold this year.
No.
It wasn't. I mean, it was pretty dang nice this year.
Yeah.
I was wasn't gonna buy anything to drink, wasn't gonna buy a ticket,
I
wasn't gonna
I think I only like I had a tab open and I think I personally paid for only like two beverages. I just had friends left and right, like, come with me, come with me.
see that's where I would pay a cover charge because I would rather not drink something. crickets. Yeah, I don't like crickets either for the same reason. It gets loud. But me too.
That's at Backyards where I actually had the conversation with Robert Park. Justin Duty made it a point to bring him over to me. Yeah.
Well, and you know, that is a good place to visit with people and get to know people. I was surprised though. There wasn't all that many people there this year. Usually it seems like it's more packed than that.
Well, Dennis, last year was worse
Yeah.
Really?
because
Well,
well
I
because of the
imagine
whole
so
vibe.
last year. Yeah.
The whole vibe last year.
Yeah, so maybe it's gonna come back. Maybe it's making a comeback. The backyard.
Yeah. It
Oh
was
no.
it was a lot better this year than it was last year.
Yeah, I didn't go last year. I went to a hotel room and had conversations with some brothers.
And even the year before that it was subdued.
Depressed.
Yeah, that's where I met the both of y'all.
Yep. I I don't want to say too much bad about it because I really do enjoy it a lot of times and you know, it is a fun time if you're into that kind of thing. I do enjoy it to some degree. So I don't want to badmouth it too much because I do enjoy it.
I don't know.
But
Every
I did
time I've
take my
been, I've had a
flask
great
in.
time.
I did take my flask in and because they're not gonna have my scotch there. So
Quit being so bougie.
somebody's gotta be. It ain't easy being bougie. I like that.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
That's right. That's right. But I carried my flask around all weekend. In fact, I had it in my back pocket on my drive home. And I'm thinking, you know what? I could get kicked out of this fraternity. Just I probably need to put this out of my reach somewhere.
As long as you don't do it on top of the Grand Lodge roof.
Oh, let's not go there.
No, let's not talk about that, please.
You know, I will not go back up there again ever. Just kidding.
I still would like to go on the rooftop and see what it's like.
There's
I
only
think the view of the city
With comments like that, you'll never get on the rooftop.
the
Ooh.
the best Masonic rooftop I have ever been on is the roof at the El Paso Scottish Rite, which is right next door to the El Paso Chihuahuas, and you can watch. We were watch ball games from the roof.
Oh, that's cool.
I just got to say this, Sean. First rule of Fight Club.
Do not
Don't
talk
talk-
about Fight Club.
That's right. Second rule of Fight Club.
See rule
Don't
number
talk-
one.
Yeah, you don't talk about Fight Club.
Well, just think, in 6 months, God willing, if they don't elect me again for the East, I'll be a past master. So
Right on.
And then you're the smartest guy in the room.
oh, then
in
that's
your own
not,
in your own head.
and
You can-
that's
you
when
can-
it's the downfall.
You can go rah, 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 with my year.
That's right. I got a T-shirt for that. In
Oh, I know.
fact,
I got one.
I'll send you one of my T-shirts, Sean. You deserve it. Since you sent me the pins and stuff, I'll send you a T-shirt that says on the back of it it says "in my year." That way you can. That way when people ask you, you can say, "Yeah, well, in my year we had the centennial celebration. Dang it! What have you done lately?"
I
Yeah.
have that shirt. Dennis sent it to me for my birthday / coming out of the chair.
I did. I did.
If you have that, sure. I think Brad, aren't you also a worshipful master?
Yeah.
Good
Hang on a
God, you're gonna
second.
break
Hang
me
on a
now.
second.
Come on, leave it to the guy that I try to be nice, and now you're offering up my shirts to everybody.
If
Speaking
you
of
give
Jason
them me, there would be
Reichenberg
shipping
and
costs.
Josh Kovar.
I got every one of you guys are coming out of the East this year. I'm gonna go broke.
But
My
see,
wife is
for
gonna
me, there's
kick
no
my.
shipping cost. I just drive over to your house.
I
Dude,
know.
now you know how I feel when I send my pins out to every state. I'm
Yep.
sending it out to like New Hampshire, California, Washington. Yeah.
I run a grotto wide association and send out pins and certificates on the regular.
Well, Grotto is very political too.
Well,
what?
I'm not.
I gotta say, the
If you
coolest
don't send out a
coin
lot
I
of
got this weekend is Brad's.
Brad Hoffs,
Yeah. Have you guys seen this?
yeah, that's a beautiful coin.
It's
don't-
freaking gorgeous, man.
I don't have that.
Did I not
Well,
give you one, Sean?
No.
Speaking of
Okay, I got one for you.
commemorations,
Yeah, let me show you the backside of it. That's
Nice.
just spiffy, man.
That's cool.
speaking of commemorations, my lodge here in Temple, Knob Creek, is turning 150 this year.
Whoa.
Congratulations. Speaking of celebrations, my lodge at McKinney is celebrating this week their 175th.
Wonderful.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna stay up there and go to it. We're still going this weekend. We're going up to Dallas, so I'm gonna try to get off a little bit early. I don't think that my daughter's got her first competition of the year in Dallas, and then next month we go to Las Vegas.
Woohoo. Well, good luck to her. That's definitely a good luck. But
Yeah,
when
this
details come out about our 150th, I'll start pushing them around.
yeah. By the way, no, go ahead.
We've already got the Grandmaster coming to do the installation and all that, and I'm hoping to be just sitting there on the side going, cheering for y'all.
Is that for Knob Creek?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Hopefully I can get up there. Now that there he is, he moves positions on my screen. So, brothers, I want everybody to take a second to congratulate Right Worshipful Byron Weber for his appointment as District Deputy Grand Master for the Masonic year of 2025.
Which district?
71.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you kindly. I really do appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing how this year goes. You know, it's interesting. I don't live in the district anymore, but this is where I was raised, and I'm super excited to to go back and share the Grand Master's message and check up on the health of my lodges.
By the way, Right Worshipful, yeah, I think you'll do a great job. And so people know, he just moved out of that district, so it's not like he, like they couldn't find anybody and decided to use him because they couldn't find anybody. But he just moved out, so a lot of respect and love for continuing on and doing it, even though it's going to be tough.
Speaking of first class things,
but just so that you know, real quick, Right Worshipful Cody Stewart is the one who made your name badge. So it was done with love and care from a inner circle member. I just
right on.
wanted
Thank
to
you,
throw
Cody.
that out there.
That's always, because my name is not terribly common, my first name anyway, it's always a worry that there's going to be a transposition or a misspelling somewhere, and I'm super tickled that they got it correct.
How many times have you been called Brian?
Yeah, or
Brion.
yeah, it's nuts. It's absolutely insane.
The best first class thing I saw this entire weekend was how they had Stan Parker's son pro tem his chair.
Yeah,
That was nice.
that was really
that
cool.
was all right there making that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I get that way anyways at Grand Lodge. I mean, do y'all not just get the goosebumps and just want to tear up sometimes? I mean,
Yeah.
when we do the prayer and everybody says, "So mote it be" at the same time, man, it hits me right here every time. That I don't think it's really the formality of Grand Lodge that gets me to Grand Lodge each year. I think it's those moments of clarity that I get while I'm there, realizing that I'm just a small part in this big thing that matters. I mean, it matters. If we're doing it right, it really matters. I know, right? That was the very first thing I smelled. I walked in and I walked back out and I looked at the trash can. I'm looking around. It's like, what the hell? And then I realized, and then I find out, Robert tells me it's from the basement. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. That's fun.
And
Well,
the thing that really got me this year was when most worshipful reader was elected, and Tommy did the deal, let it be shown, the usual voting sign among Masons and the vocal response
Right.
and the whole auditorium. Yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome. That was
Well,
so
and
freaking cool.
yeah, and that was another thing that, in doing the elections, everybody standing up for all the officers and clapping and really showing unity behind our leadership and in support of our leadership. That really meant something to me this year. We all were concerned going into this, and in fact, apparently all of Texas was, because we had just as many voters in there as we did last year.
Yeah.
If y'all didn't notice, I did. I was writing down all the numbers, but I was concerned people weren't going to take things as seriously, and then people would think that we were going to fall right back into, or that not people would think that, but people would allow brothers would allow us to fall right back into the unnecessary behaviors of the past, and that just didn't happen. And then to see at the afterwards or during the process of elections, just seeing everybody in unity together, supporting all the brothers going up in the line, and then supporting Chip Green, Right Worshipful Chip Green, our new Grand Junior Warden. Man, so the person that I was running around with all year didn't make it, but I don't think we did bad with Chip Green. I think Right Worshipful
No.
is going to be great, and I think that everybody else realizes that too, and that is very encouraging that we have a some grand trustees that are going to work together for the betterment of the system to support us as Freemasons instead of lording over us. Yes. Yeah.
It was a gentlemanly thing that happened. It wasn't just a brotherly thing, it was a gentlemanly thing. And he does, and like you said, Justin, we move forward, but we also acknowledge and recognize the commitment that Brother Henderson has devoted his life to. And even though he didn't get to the Grand East, he did get somewhat to it, and we should recognize his time and commitment to the craft. So, as a gentleman, this was the best thing we could have done to honor his legacy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, on the
just,
note of
just my 2 cents.
right, was somebody about to say something else? Okay. Oh my goodness, I just had a brain fart. Sorry guys, there it went.
Wow, you actually have the brain.
So yeah, you got to have a brain to have a brain fart. So, moving forward, with that idea in mind, I think that another thing that I'm really pleased about is the fact that Right Worshipful Brad Billings was reelected, and I say that not out of disdain for anybody else, not out of disdain for his opponent, but just because that spoke wonders to the fact that we are in a new age, and we have to be thinking about our current practices and the future all the time because of technology and what's available to us today that in some cases wasn't available 6 months ago. I mean, we're in that fast of a moving world that the brothers decided that they would prefer to move forward and go in a direction where we are actively working on making things easier for the lodges by promoting and building upon the digital platforms that we have in place. And then, golly, hearing the numbers that are saved by doing that. I mean, everybody whines about, paying per capita and dues and stuff like that. I mean, we all do to some extent, depending on, which lodge it is. Some are still too cheap, but we all groan about, dues and stuff. Per capita gets to stay the same because we're saving on technology. Whereas otherwise, if we kept doing things the same way, it'd have to be $50, $100 by now. That's, I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just excited about the direction we're going right now. I think that, the Grand West did good. They made some good choices and they really, made a statement as to where we're going in the future and what they expect in the future.
The thing that really struck me, I mean, I realized that, mailing out dues cards to 50,000 Masons is significant, but $30,000 in savings switching over from the paper cards to the plastics, I did not realize it was anywhere near that much.
Oh yeah, and that's per year that it saves us that, because it costs almost that much even with the paper cards. It costs me for the lodge I'm secretary of, it costs me over $200 to send out all the dues each year in postage and and well, I hadn't even bought printer ink and stuff like that. I've been paying for all that stuff myself. The but the but when you talk about postage, stamps alone were $146 to send out notices to my lodge, and then you talk about envelopes, paper to print stuff out on, the ink toner to do that. I mean, that's a big expense to the lodge every year that is now saved as well. Now you only have to do anybody that's new, because that card is good forever. That's that's the I think that we're just making good business decisions right now. And they're working on so many good things, including insurance for lodges to help with insurance. Bunch of different things that they're
Right.
working on
And
right
that
now.
was one of the things that I was looking forward to and didn't see at Grand Lodge this year was, um, you know, I have at least heard rumors that Grand Lodge was working on finding a provider that was more, I guess, understanding of how we utilize our buildings, and and maybe being able to cut us a little bit better deal on our insurance.
Well, they are
And
working.
I didn't hear a thing about that during Grand Lodge.
Well,
That's because they didn't.
It takes
That's
time to do
because they
something like
don't. That because it's separate for each region. It's going to have to be something that's communicated through email and stuff based off of the regions, because that insurance, yeah, they could have bragged about that, but they don't have the final quotes from those companies yet. And so until the deal is done, the deal's not done. That's one of the
Right.
good things about Brad, is that he's an old salesman, so he knows that until the deal's done, that deal ain't done.
Right.
but they are.
That was one of the things that I was looking forward to, because
I
I know
know.
that especially for my district, it's a thing.
Yeah.
The one of the lodges, not in my district, but in a neighboring district, one of the lodges there opted to go, we're just not going to have insurance
that. There's several like that.
because it costs too much.
Well, there's going to come a
their
time
premium their premium went from I want to say it was like something reasonable, like $700 or $800 a year, to $3,000 a year in a year.
Well, you can thank San
Can't
Antonio
budget
River
for that.
Authority. Yeah, you can thank San Antonio River Authority for a lot of that, because after Harvey, they started going and assessing these coastal bend towns and just doubling and tripling the risk factor against these towns. And so now the insurance companies are using that data against us as people. And your district is a little bit further north than
A little bit my ass. Way.
Right. So yours is up north, but you still have to bear the blunt of that. So that's why it's taking so long, because they're trying to get it regionalized for that very reason. That kind of thing, so that you won't be paying for the same coverage that I will be paying for in Corpus Christi, where I'm literally 2 blocks from the ocean.
Yeah. It's sorry, I'm just going to let that one drop. No, I'm just going to let that go.
I know.
It's
a
crazy,
bunch of
man.
crap.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of crap. It's the same thing with our health insurance. It started out as a good thing, and now they're holding us hostage, and because everybody has to play a game to get paid. But
Well, they're having
we'll
to
save
take the
that
money,
for
but
a
they don't
different
actually
show.
want- Yeah.
We'll let Rogan talk about that.
Yeah. Well, that was a huge reason a lot of people joined early on. It wasn't for the esoterics or anything like that. It was because if you were a Mason, you would have a burial, and your family would be taken care of when you died. This is
So
before insurance was
just
yeah, go ahead.
Justin, you brought that up. I was informed that was the Oddfellows that did that,
Um,
not Masons.
No,
what
we
the,
well, we
the
didn't create an insurance program per se, but we took care of each other. That
Yeah.
was the whole idea of taking care of the widows and orphans.
Yeah, it wasn't like
was-
an insurance thing. It was well, I mean, I guess you could consider it insurance because you knew you were going to have a funeral and you knew that your family would be taken care of, but it wasn't insurance. That's why you see so many initiations, stories of initiations on the battlefield before a big battle, because
Oh,
there was a huge fear, and I don't know enough
So you
historically.
get a
that-
proper burial.
yeah, there was a fear of being left on the field to rot and get picked apart and stuff like that. But you knew if you're a Mason, you get a proper burial. So that's why before a lot of, like the Alamo, for example, like supposedly there might have been quite a few raisings before the big battle, and that was because it would not always guarantee, but it definitely increase your chances of getting a proper burial.
If I die and it's on any field or whatever, just sprinkle scotch on me, torch me, and offer me up to the gods, man.
I want
That's-
my remains spread around the Grand Lodge. I don't want to be cremated though.
Well, I really want to be honest. I really want to have the first funeral. I want to be pushed out in the ocean and just shoot an arrow out and just torch me.
you guys
Viking
are
burial.
you guys are horrible. I just want to be buried in a mall so I know my kids will visit me twice a week.
You're as bad as the Catholics. You want them to feel guilty the rest of their life. They have to visit you. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't be so prejudiced with religion.
Actually, I want to be buried with a pecan plant in my mouth. That way, a pecan plant will grow in my spot, and you can guess what future generations will enjoy.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Yeah, that
Okay.
goes back to that.
planting trees for
That
future
goes back to
generations.
Forward.
That goes back to the speech of Kyle Walquist of planting the seeds of the tree that will shade.
There you
So
go.
it's like this conversation has gone full circle now.
Yes. And when the seed is planted inside you, then it can definitely grow.
How awkward! Who said that? I think everyone just kind of turned and looked at each other.
I will never, ever let him live that down. Ever. That's going to be a talking point at least once a week.
Did he plant a
Maybe
seed
on this
inside
show.
you so that you would never forget it?
Oh, no, he did not.
I think no, seriously, like everyone just kind of.
But it definitely took root. Oh, man. That's funny.
But you know what? The fact that we could all get together and have fun times like that says a lot, right? It says a lot, especially when you
Yeah.
compare it to last year. Like when we're in the grand session and we're able to laugh at ourselves again, that says a lot about we needed a year like this, and we need a year like we were promised this year. And so I hope we continue to maintain this peace and harmony and move forward.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it was very clear where we're going in Texas Freemasonry. I'm so proud of our state at how well, we went through the challenges we went through and have come out on this end of it. And it's not just the leadership that got us here. It's they did a lot. Don't get me wrong. And there's a lot of people relinquishing their ego to get past this, but it also had a lot to do with the Grand East or the Grand West and just the brothers in general that ensured that we would continue on this path. And so, man, kudos to you guys, every one of you. I think that y'all deserve that.
Agreed.
We deserve this win and it's all of you that made it happen.
Yeah, we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for not just people here in the Zoom, but the Grand West in general. Like, guys, you just don't know, man. Like we fought hard, and it feels like we're at a place where we need to be now, and it's so feels so good to.
I tell you what, man, I had so many people asking me this year at Grand Lodge, when are you making yourself available? And they said, is it going to be this coming year? Is it going to be? It's like, dude, you know how bad that would be for Grand Lodge right now.
Well, I guess you can say in 6 months I can make myself available, but I won't.
And yeah, you cannot. I'm telling you, you cannot make yourself available. I know somebody by the name of Chris that'll make sure that you don't make yourself available.
There were rumors, like someone actually had rumors that they were going to nominate Brad this year and Chris was going to be nominated for Grand Secretary. So I confronted Chris about this and he goes, "Oh, hell no."
Quite the rumor. Quite the rumor.
What? Yeah.
Anybody with half the brains of a soap dish is not going to be secretary. Now, I'm sorry, Brad Billings, I love you, but that if we're talking about half the brains, you must have the brains of a soap dish because you're on a grander scale. So, to do that job, it's crazy.
It takes a special kind of masochist
It does.
to want to
learned
be
that the
Grand
hard way.
Secretary.
Well, they take all of the blame for
just
everything.
being a secretary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. It's work. It's not easy, and it's the most thankless job. And ask Reichenberg. He knows. I mean, he's been doing it for years. It's a tough job.
Yeah.
I never wanted to. I just wanted to help, and so fortunately, we're in a good direction now. But golly, I'd rather just have ideas.
I am willing to bet that this is what helps secretaries get through the day.
Oh my gosh, you are so right. You are so right.
Why do you think he always carries a flask with him?
That's the only reason why I want to keep a desk in my office at our lodge, is for that very reason. So I have some place to put that.
We should all
Just
donate.
kidding. We don't allow alcohol in here.
We should all like pitch in and buy Brad a case of Glenlivet 12 and just ship it to his house and say thank you for all you do.
Right. Yeah. This is for the next year. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're
Well,
awesome. We love you.
Really,
Here you go.
really,
buddy.
we would have to buy 2 cases because we'd have to give just as much. Actually, give 2 cases just to Dave McKim, the office manager, and then give Brad a bottle and give the rest of the case to Dave. That's the reality. Because Dave is
Okay,
working
so
his
we get
tail off.
Brad a bottle of the 15-year, and then we give
There you go.
Dave a case of the 12-year.
Yes, give Brad a bottle of the 15 and Dave a case of the 12.
So
that's
who wants
fair.
who wants to start the GoFundMe?
I tell you what, I'll pay for it, and you guys just pay me back.
Byron almost choked on his drink.
I did. Don't make me narf the 12-year. That's not cool.
Well, that is kind of rude, making it come up the wrong way.
No, can't do that.
By the way, I should tell y'all, January stated meeting, the last thing I said before we left is, before I asked the Senior Warren if there anything else to bring, I said, while we're all at Grand Lodge, before we head there, may we all have a solemn prayer for peace and harmony to prevail. And there's like a whole round of amens throughout the whole week. Yeah. And then Jeff, my chaplain, prayed, and then I just found out yesterday that he is our district deputy grand master for District 14F. he was the one on the stage helping taking photos as part of the photography committee. So
Right.
if you see on Texas Freemasons, I posted his photo. He is now a DDGM.
Yes,
Very
I
cool.
like Jeff a lot. I
Yeah,
like
he
Jeff a
deserves
lot.
well deserved.
Yes,
That's
definitely.
awesome.
You got a good one this year. Well, I did something similar as far as, talking about peace and harmony before we started. I actually addressed the lodge as with an education piece on peace and harmony and what it should mean um, to us as Masons, instead of that being instead of being part of the secular world, thinking of it in Masonry terms. And it was well received as well. And I think that I saw that with all of the brothers from my lodge and even more, because we usually have several brothers from the district that come in as well. So I could definitely see that. And I think that we're not the only ones. I think that happened quite a bit around our state, because I think everybody kind of feels the same.
Yeah. All right, dudes. It's almost 11. Let's do our final thoughts.
Dude, you don't even have to work tomorrow.
Hey, it's all about being timely and respectful of other people's time.
Because I got to work tomorrow.
See,
What's work?
Oh, you
Rat
hush.
Worshel has to
I
sleep.
know. He's a student. He doesn't understand work.
No.
He admits it. That's so funny. That's okay. That's your job for now. You got to get smarter so that you can support us in the future.
There you go.
Byron, you need sleep since you said you have to work tomorrow.
I do. I do need to sleep. So if I may, I'll go ahead and start, final thoughts.
You go right
Yeah,
ahead.
go for it.
It was such a great weekend. I was truly blessed to make the acquaintance of brethren I have never met before, get to hang out, and truly enjoy the fellowship that comes with this fraternity. It started Thursday night at the dinner with Dion Williams and Kyle's presentation. And, it really became a thought-provoking theme for the weekend. I got to play and hang out with a bunch of brothers that I would normally never interact with.
Wow. Man,
And,
thanks so much.
No, it wasn't just you guys, because,
I know what you mean.
yeah, when is an aircraft mechanic going to get to hang out with a teacher in whatever Dennis does for a living? But
Dennis
the
doesn't
beauty,
do a lot for you.
exactly. So, a derelict roustabout. So when do I get to hang out with a derelict roustabout?
Yes.
Rarely. But it really was, it was super gratifying to me to meet a bunch of new brothers, B, sit in that Grand Lodge this weekend and see how peace and harmony are supposed to prevail.
Mm-hmm.
That was, because I came into this Grand Lodge session with a little bit of trepidation. I wasn't sure how things were going to go. I didn't know, I'm not, I'm part of this inner circle, but I'm not part of that inner circle. So I didn't know how things were going to go. And frankly, I was a little afraid that we were going to see some of the contention and the animosity. And I hate to use that word, but that really is, as far as I can think, the best word to describe last year. And we didn't see any of that. What we saw this grand annual communication was how peace and harmony are supposed to go. So I was super, super grateful for that. And I am still super grateful for it. Being installed as a DDGM for my home district was just kind of like icing on the cake. it wasn't, the be all and end all of my weekend. It was just a capper. And I'm very grateful that the most worshipful decided I was, the man for that job. But other than that, man, it was just awesome to be able to see all of you guys, to be able to hug Brad, to be able to hug freaking Josh and, Justin and Dennis and Jason, to, to get to meet in person finally the men that I get to interact with weekly on this show. It was very gratifying, and I thank you all for being there and taking part.
Pleasure's all ours, bro. It's good hanging out with you. Thank you for that. Does anyone else have something they want to add? Gandalf?
Yeah, I want to read one line out of a book that I'm reading out of the Texas Lodge of Research stuff. It says, all too often our priorities get out of order and we become more attentive to ways in which we can stay alive than in following our avowed purpose of creating and maintaining an atmosphere in which men can experience brotherhood as they never have experienced it before and in a manner not found in any other place. And that's exactly what I've found with you guys and exactly what I've found in Masonry and especially at Grand Lodge weekend this weekend. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of this and sharing everything.
For sure.
Anyone else?
I'll say something from Psalms 27, verse 9. Sweet friendships refresh the soul and awaken our hearts with joy.
Yeah.
Sweet
That's
friendships
Yeah.
refresh the soul and awaken our hearts with joy.
I love that, man.
Man, that's a good one.
And it doesn't get sweeter than Dennis.
I know.
I know I know by saying something biblical I was a wild card.
No, that was good. We're kind of like a sweet and salty combination over here, he and I. We kind of
spice and everything nice.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Jason, Daniel,
Come on, Jason. Come on, Daniel. Come on, Jacob.
yep, Jeff.
Hey, I'm just excited listening to you all describe your experience in your Grand Lodge, and makes me really look forward to my first Grand Lodge I'm going to in March. So, anyway, I
Awesome,
appreciate
man.
you, brothers.
Nice.
Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you coming
Man,
on.
I'm excited for you.
It's cool. You gotta let us know how it goes.
Jason.
I guess kind of echo what
Sorry, Jacob.
I kind of echo what Brother Weber said. I want to, express that I didn't get to go to Grand Lodge, but I am very happy that the peace and harmony did prevail, and there wasn't very much contention. So I too, at this point, I'm looking at logistics and all that for next year's Grand Lodge, and I hope to see everybody there next year.
Likewise, friend. It's gonna be good. I can tell you that right now. Anyone else?
I just appreciate the brotherhood that's here in the Masonic Improvement Inner Circle. It's really great. Thank y'all.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
We're here for y'all.
Thank you, Daniel. And you were missed for sure.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just want you to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll wrap it up on my end. Yeah, the dinner was fantastic, and I want to thank Dennis because he's the boots on the ground when it comes to actually planning events in this relationship we have. He's just phenomenal at it, and so thank you, Dennis, for helping, or really putting that together, and I want to thank Kyle, Brother Walquest, for coming and giving his presentation. He knocked it out of the park. He always does. I've never heard a presentation from Kyle that has been lacking in any way. He is so good. He has such a presence with his lectures, and it was good. It was really good. We had some new people show up to the dinner, and we had some people that I was hoping to see that couldn't make it. And the good news is we're doing it again next year, and we're just going to continue to improve it every year. And so if you didn't make it this year, I'm sure you'll hear about it. But man, I'm telling you, keep an ear out around this time next year, around December next year, because we'll start talking about it again, and maybe even sooner than that. But towards the end of the year, you'll start hearing about it again. And I mean, save up for it, make plans for it, whatever you got to do. Yeah, Jeff, we'd love to have you, bro. We'd love to have
Yes,
you.
Jeff, come on down.
It's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. Got to meet some brothers from Australia, and they saw the whole inner circle thing, and they're interested in that. And so, I mean, if it could work out, that'd be really cool to see. And it was just really cool meeting people from Australia, talking about our show, right? Like,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
and that dude from Sweden.
Mats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was wicked
Mats,
cool.
Mats is- I was taking pictures, and I saw a really tall brother with short hair looking at the display case, and I was like, Mats. He turned around. It was not Mats. I was like, oh, sorry, man. Then I saw him again. I mean, he looks like him from a distance till he turns around. He's like, oh, that's not Mats. Sorry about that.
That's funny.
But yeah, guys, Grand Lodge is wrapped up, and it was. I mean, I'll be transparent. Like, obviously, one of my friends was running, and I was really hoping to see him get it. But there's a time and place for everything, right? And just because he didn't get it this year doesn't mean it won't happen maybe sometime down the road. But that was a disappointment. But overall, the resolutions that I feel really needed to passed, and the people, the majority of the people that I really wanted in office, and this no slight against Right Worshipful Green by any means, but the people that I really wanted to be in office ended up in office, and with one exception. But I have no doubt that we still have fantastic leadership, and so like I said, I don't mean it negatively. It's just one of my friends was running, and I really wanted to see him be successful. But like I said, other than that, if anyone lives in the area, like Byron was talking about it earlier, if you live within travel distance, I'll be doing a Fellowcraft lecture on Wednesday. And if you need to know specifically where it's at, reach out to me and I'll let you know. I don't really want to say it here on live, or some weirdo can show up at the lodge or something. But if you don't see a walking Fellowcraft lecture, I'm going to be delivering it. It's worth checking out. It's pretty cool. But other than that, I guess I'll just leave it with saying I appreciate each of you. I really do. It was great seeing all of you in person. It always is. It was great seeing you at the dinner, having breaking bread with you, giving those hugs and those handshakes, and sitting with you in lodge and having conversations with you. It's always phenomenal, and I always enjoy it. And I appreciate each and every one of you for your friendship, for your mentorship. Believe it or not, because I learned as much from you as you talk about what you gain from us, but I learned just as much from my interactions with y'all also, and that is invaluable. So I appreciate all of you and all that you bring to the table, and the support you offer the Masonic Improvement. And if you want a piece of this inner circle, if you want to contribute to it, either like with these conversations, or just supporting the show, consider becoming an inner circle member. There's a link usually just below the video. You can join and support us in whatever way. It's always appreciated. But other than that, I'm going to leave the floor to Dennis.
First and foremost, thank you to all of you brothers for being a part of this. We wouldn't be successful without you. It's, having an echo chamber is never good for anyone's growth. the most successful leaders in the world were not leaders that expected people to just follow in suit. The successful leaders looked for strong individuals that could contribute. And I think that's what we do with the inner circle as well, is that we're looking for people to contributors to our show, contributors to us. I mean, this is kind of a selfish thing in that I want people to help contribute to my growth, and not let me just be the overspoken person I can be. I know that about myself, and I need you guys to help keep me in line. That's what masonry is about. It's keeping our passions in due bounds, and we can't do that if we have a bunch of people that are just going to tell us exactly what we want to hear. This year was a good year, and I truly expect that the coming that 2025 will continue to be another good year for Texas Freemasonry. I would like to share a little bit of an experience at Grand Lodge that I didn't share earlier, that is why I am so passionate about the dinner and the conversations that we can have. So in the past, y'all all know who my mentors are. I've spoken about them several times. In the past, we would get together at hotels and stuff and talk and really take some deep dives in theology and philosophy and all the things that I never got in my local lodge. Well, I had missed that for a few years because there's been so much hustle and bustle going on that we kind of missed that and wasn't able to connect like that. But this past weekend, we were able to reconnect in that way. And man, one of my most meaningful Masonic experiences reoccurred this weekend. And it rejuvenized my heart and my spirit. I've told y'all before on the show, I think, if I hadn't, you're going to get to hear it now. I truly believe that the soul is the divine spark combined with your intellect. That's what creates your soul, in my opinion. And I felt like my soul grew this weekend because of that conversation. Just that one conversation. Now my spirit grew because I really had some wonderful fellowship with all you brothers, getting to see you all and hug y'all. Walked away without the Grand Lodge flu. That's all good. Those are all good
so
points.
far. Give it a few days,
good,
just to be clear.
Good points to ponder. But I'm going to tell you that last night I had a soul moving night. And those are the things that keep me coming back. And those are the things that I want to share with all of you brothers. So when I'm thinking of ideas of y'all taking things, little nuggets back to your area and doing things, that's what I'm hoping that you find. It may not happen in the dinner, but at least those people are going to be there, and you will connect on a deeper level at different times to be able to get those experiences. So another thing that I was thinking, along with the dinner that we had, and something that I'm going to challenge everyone to do on their regional levels or whatever when they do these dinners. But and I really want our inner circle members to host these dinners, right? Because they're going to have the blueprint on what to do. But as we do this, Sure, start out with 4 or 5, whatever. But then what happens is you go back to them and you say, okay, if you enjoyed this, I want you to find one person. That's all I want you to do. Find one person and bring them with you next time. And then it'll grow organically on its own. And you're going to have like-minded people that are interested in the same things. So it won't be your responsibility to carry it, to try to find more people every time. It'll be a matter of people who find value in it. They find other like-minded individuals that will find value in it as well. And I'm going to challenge the brothers that went this weekend to our dinner this weekend to do the exact same thing for next year. And then that way it will be a success for us to have, 3 different speakers and make a little bit of a bigger splash with it. I think if we're always looking at where we come from, we can shape and structure where we go to create more meaning and impact in our lives. And that translates into creating meaning and impact in other people's lives. And isn't that really what we're charged to do in Freemasonry? Aren't we really the gentlemen of the day getting together to find the solutions to the problems of the day for the betterment of the whole? That's the story of the beehive, right? That's that lesson that nobody thinks about in being disinterested in our own progression and worth, but being more interested in the collective and doing for the sake of building others up. So with that being said, I apologize for being a little bit abrasive earlier, but that's why I have the vision I have, because I really want to see us reach the outstretches of this state, because you guys are attracted to this because you aren't getting it where you are currently, apparently. Otherwise, you'd get bored with us and leave, right? So, and the same here. I do the same thing because I'm not getting it where I am. So we're all in this together. And so we want to provide that for our regions so that other people can find their people. We're going to help other people find their people, because my journey is much better with you in it. And I can't say that enough, because it's true. And hopefully every once in a while you'll feel the same about me. Doesn't have to be all the time. I'm an acquired taste. So with that being said, it was a great Grand Lodge, great Grand Session. Congratulations to Most Worshipful Rayburn Reader, Right Worshipful Jim Rumsey, Right Worshipful Justin Duty, Right Worshipful Chip Green, Right Worshipful Bradley S. Billings, Right Worshipful Rick Townsend. Thank you for giving of yourself for the betterment of our fraternity. And we support you, and we will continue to support you, because we know that you're thinking of us. We know what your intentions are, and they are those noble contentions of who can best work and best agree. With that being said, brothers, thank you.